Beautiful. Sweet. And we are off. So thank you so much, Chani, for being on our call this evening, and really excited to have you on. I know that you've got so much gold to share with us, but tonight I really asked Chani if she could talk about her avatar and how she's gone about attracting her tribe, and also a little bit about how she kind of rolls out her program, her wellness program. If you've got questions along the way, guys, we are going to use this amazing new feature on this call called chat that you've all had me put on there now, so use it.
I love it.
So put anything that you have, and if we can make some time at the end, we'll do some quick Q&A with Chani. So I had the fortune of meeting Chani abroad. Didn't even meet her here. We were at a conference in the States somewhere where that big golden thing was. Where was that?
St. Louis?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, those two. Yeah. And just so happened that Chani and Kate Golay and I all ended up in the same hotel. So that was really good. That was where I first got to meet Chani, and it was a massive conference. And Chani was there because she'd been building this team in the States, and she had team over there to go and see, but also just come for the experience of the amazing Juice Plus conference of the USA. So I'm very grateful that we had that time together, and have since connected many times, and it's just great to have new upcoming NMDs, sideline buddies that you can connect in with, that do business a little bit differently to how, well, particularly me, do things, and just to have some wisdom to throw into my team. I'm very grateful of your time tonight. So I am going to spotlight you now and put you. There you go. And
thanks for having me on.
About your journey and how it was that you came to create the avatar that you did to create the tribe that you have obviously got, and New 75 Club, which is just amazing, and we're on the way to 100 Club. So tell us how you got
Yeah, well, I mean, I've built like 90% of my business online. And I know that some people think that's really weird, and how do you do that? And it was sort of the norm for me, I guess. With social media today, I've just been it's just been so much a part of my life, social media. So I really, I used to look at people who I inspired to be like, and people who I loved them. I loved everything that they were about online. And I sort of started picking up what people were doing. Like, they were really consistent with the type of energy that they were sending off to their followers, I guess, and the type of posts that they were doing, and just the whole vibe. And I really quickly realized that a lot of the successful people, especially in our realm, like the health and wellness world, they all were so specific with who they were targeting and who they were trying to speak with and connect with. And I really loved that. So I guess when I first started trying to build like an Instagram page, I got really clear with myself. I got really clear with, like, so who do I want to help, and why do I want to help them? And, how old are they? Where do they hang out? What part of in the world are they in? And what do they want to see? Like, I know for me, when I was, I guess I used to be really unhealthy, and when I was trying to learn about health, the things that I wanted to see a lot of were things like recipes and health tips and inspirational posts and funny things. Like, I was really, really attracted to people who were sending that off in their social media. So for me, when I started this business, I was like, right, well, I've got to do the same thing. Like, I essentially want to attract someone exactly like me, and someone who's gone through my health journey or similar to. And so I got really clear with, like, I always wanted to give value to people through my social media. I wanted people to come to my page and really love me and stay with me and follow me and sort of have that, like, I can't wait for her to post the next thing. So everything about my presence online has always been about what value can I add? How can I inspire people? How can I motivate them? How can I teach them something? And you know what? Like half the time, some of my posts, like I'm there flicking through women's magazine, like Women's Health, and I'm like, oh, that's a good tip. Like, you know how there's those sections in the Women's Health magazine with like weird statistics and stuff, and then I just do a post about it. So it's not like you don't have to be a genius to motivate and teach people online. I was just sort of, I guess that's how I started it. That's how I started my Instagram. And then I guess like I'm really specific with my avatar, my person who I want to help. So the person that I want to help is female. She's between the ages of, 20 and 50. And the types of things that she struggles with are inflammation, skin, energy. She's a stay-at-home mama, or maybe she's a full-time working mum and she's just like totally sleep deprived, wants to eat healthy, wants to learn how to be healthy, wants to learn how to teach her kids how to be healthy. And then you've got, broad spectrum all the way down to someone in their 20s who's not keen on doing the whole partying, drinking, binging thing. They want to actually look after their bodies. And that's just the type of I guess the information that I'm putting out in my post. So every time I post something, I'm strategically talking to that particular person. And I guess that's how I've done my attraction. I call it attraction marketing, because I'm not just posting like willy-nilly out there. I've actually got intention behind every post. And, I'd love for someone to read a post of mine and be like, oh my gosh, like that's exactly how I feel. I'm going to follow her, or I'm going to send her a message. Does that sort of help? I'd love for you guys to ask questions too. Like if you have any, please throw them into the chat, because I want to help you guys specifically.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And yeah, as you say, just being really, really clear on and consistent with who you're trying to market to, because I think probably the biggest issue that we have with Juice Plus is that it can help so many people going through so many things, having so many different health concerns, but also it can just help anybody. You don't have to have a health concern. It can just be, and so really being, it can be very easy to kind of be, I call it like a windscreen wiper, where you're kind of going, okay, mums, teens, and then we've got, millennials, and then we've got these guys, and then we've got pregnant women, and then we've got this. So it's that whole, array that it can help. So yeah, I think that the being consistent with your specific target is really, really important. And so obviously this attracted a tribe of people to you who are asking questions about what you do or the business. So tell us a little bit how you take that to the next level.
Yeah. So my thing that I always say is you don't need a piece of paper to help someone. Like you don't need to be this qualified person with a degree or a certificate. Like the only thing you need is a heart. Like you genuinely want to help someone, you can do this business. So that's what I sort of talk about in all of my posts. Like I always say, like I'm looking for people who are just like me, really passionate about health and wellness, would love to somehow leave a footprint on this planet in helping others. And if that's someone, like if that's you, I'd love to hear from you, because we're looking for people to join our tribe. And I'm really like vague about that. I'm really blasé, but that's enough for people to be like, well, I don't have a qualification, but I really love health and I'd really love to help people. I want to learn more about this. And then sometimes I'll do a post specifically for health professionals. Like I'll always say, I'm looking for health professionals to link arms with and collaborate with. Like I'm sort of really savvy with my wording. So people want to know more. They read a post and they'll think, right, well, that's a bit vague. I want to learn more about it. And then that's where I get my conversations flowing. So
is that just from your personal page or a business page, or how are you doing this?
Yeah, so I use my personal Facebook page. That's where a majority of my posting happens, but I also use Instagram. I love Instagram. I know a lot of people aren't very familiar with it or don't use it as much, but there's a whole world out there that people love visuals. Something that I've learned from some social media strategizing training that I've done is people don't read long posts like this. They don't care. They don't want to read. They're just sitting like in Facebook land, just scrolling, and they just want to see pictures. So pictures and videos, if you can post pictures and videos and have your message in that, that's the best way to get, you know, some attraction marketing happening too. So for me, like I'll do like little videos here and there. Does anyone use here Facebook stories? Like, you know, you can film yourself and it's like a live, but not on your page. It's like in the messenger part of your Facebook, Instagram story as well. So people want to know who you are. They want to learn about you, and they just want to know that you're a normal person and that you're relatable. And so that's what I use. I use Instagram and Facebook more than anything. And I keep my wording to a minimum, like 1-2 sentences max. And then so that it's enough to give a little bit of info, but enough for people to wonder about like what it's about, and so that they can personal message me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just going through some of the questions. Are you in groups or creating groups as well? Do you go into different groups and kind of add value there? You know, health and wellness groups, or are you mainly just page?
I love groups. I think you can do really well through groups, but I personally feel like everyone's doing it now. So I don't use groups anymore. I used to when I first started. I'd hang out in all different types of groups. I'd try to aim for ones that had, you know, around the 5,000 plus mark members, so that my reach was a bit bigger. But from what, like, I don't know about you guys, but I've noticed that everyone in MLM now is using Facebook groups and sort of like saturating them, and people are getting annoyed. People are getting really frustrated by being added randomly by these people from Facebook groups. And, you know, it's the same generic message. Hey, I saw you on this group and I'd love to be your Facebook friend. People are just so over it. Admins are getting, you know, crappy. They're kicking you out of groups if you're doing it. So I've moved away from groups personally. Every now and then I'll jump in a group and see if I can find anything and build a relationship with people. But my main thing is hashtags. I just hang out on hashtags instead and try and find people. So like I'll use, for example, a hashtag like weight loss, or hashtag, I'll just use weight loss as an example. So I'll go on that hashtag on Facebook and on Instagram, and that brings up every photo that anyone's ever posted with that hashtag. And then that's how I build my relationships. Like I'll follow them and like their photos and comment on them and try and build that. Like I'd try and build a relationship there with them and talk to them more than anything first. And then, you know, later down the track, if the conversation sort of flows into like, what do you do for work? Then that's my opportunity to chat with them. But I don't condone like random reach outs, because it's just happening so much now on Facebook and people are just getting so annoyed. I'm all about building that relationship with them first.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Mel's asked a question. What's your top Insta tip?
My top Insta tip. Well, the hashtags thing, it works so well. So if you have like particular hashtags that are related to health, like literally you could think of, you know, 1,000 if you really wanted to, you know, health and wellness, healthy lifestyle, like all those types of hashtags. I hang out in there, and I do a thing called Kiss Kiss Hug, which I learnt recently, and it's 3 steps to building a relationship online with someone. So follow them, like their photo, comment on their photo, and then continuously doing that so that they follow you back, because Instagram's a game. I look at it as a game, and it's an amazing platform to use to have people follow you, because the more people you have follow you, the more your message, you know, sort of gets, your bigger your reach is. So I just hang out on hashtags all day, every day, liking, commenting, making friends, following people. And then I get to that point where I feel like, okay, I've been liking this person's photos for quite some time now. I'm going to chat with them, and I'll send them a message and just start a relationship there.
Yeah, cool. Mel's followed that up with, is there a certain minimum hashtags?
Yeah, there's a maximum. There's 30. You can only post 30 hashtags per photo. So choose them wisely. I like to use just health ones, so that, you know, like vegetarian, vegan.
Yeah, that's still a lot, isn't it? It's a lot to.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's heaps. That's heaps. Yeah. And if you've got your regular ones that you use all the time,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's great.
Yeah, cool. And you use your own images. That was the other question. You use all your own images?
Yes.
Yeah.
I try to. I mean, not all of us are savvy. I'm not very good with taking photos. I suck sometimes. And I know a lot of us don't have time to take photos of all the food that we eat and all the things that we're doing. So I try really hard, but I make if I ever use a photo that's not mine, I'll always credit it to whoever I got it from. Like if I follow someone who I really love and they've posted a beautiful photo, I'll credit them in the comments section, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah, and obviously we've learned a lot about that over these past few months from Ryan Chambray, talking about making sure you're using your own images where you can. So, all right. So all day, every day, you're hashtagging. I'm sure there's a song in that somewhere. What's your DMO? So what's that look like?
My DMO is like, first and foremost, I build my business. I really feel like we can get stuck in that trap of answering our Facebook inbox. You can be there for hours if I can definitely be there for hours sometimes. And I don't know about you guys, but the first thing I do every morning is I build my business. So what I'm doing is I'm following up with I use a 30-day grid. I use Celine's 30-day grid. Do you guys use that? I love it. It's just like my way of reminding me who I've been in chats with. So I'm following up. I'm building my relationships. Like I'm sending happy birthday messages to people who are on my Facebook. I'm circling back to people who I'm trying to, get that conversation to that part where they're like, so what do you do? And that's what I do first and foremost. My second priority is always my new team. So new team that have come on and getting them to SDVF. Obviously, like the whole game to this business is getting people to SDVF and qualifying them. So that's my second priority before anyone else. And then, of course, I'm doing three-way calls for my new team who are trying to find team or trying to find customers. I'm on calls with them. But I'm really good with setting my boundaries. So I've set up like a schedule. It's like I use Acuity. I don't know. There's so many different types of schedules you can use. But my Acuity calendar, there's only a 3-hour window in the day where I'm available for three-way calls. And the reason I do that is because I'm a little bit OCD. That's probably why. But I just really like to fit all my calls like 3 hours in the day, do them all then. And the rest of the day is revolved around me building my business, because that's the most important thing. Like you just need to keep bringing on people. So following up, what did I say then? Following up, circling back to people, then helping my newbies build their business. And then later in the night, I'll jump in my Facebook Messenger and get back to people about questions. But I'm really big on using the team page. Like if you've got a question, use the search bar in the team page. If you can't find it through the search bar, ask the question in the team page, because the team page has so many people who will have the answer. And personally, I'm not available to sit there for hours and answer questions. So whenever anyone asks me a question, my first response is, hey, I'd love for you to use the search bar. Like I'm not sitting there replying back to everyone, and spending hours and hours in my inbox. I've learnt my lesson, because I definitely used to do that a lot. And it was draining. It can get so draining, especially when you want to use your inbox for building those relationships with your potential team. So that's pretty much my DMO at the moment. Mm-hmm. I'm in build mode. I'm in bring on as many teamies as I can mode.
Yeah. And obviously you do a lot of personal development. I've seen, or you off to all sorts of things with Mitch Mills and, investing in your own growth, and with Matt, which is amazing that you guys can do that together. So when we talk about DMO, that's work. What about your personal, do you have, you get up and there's you do your rituals, and then you've got homework from Mitch Mills that you've got to kind of do, and even with us, with the NMDs, we've got stuff going on as well at the moment with work that we've got to get done.
So much.
So how, obviously you rate it very highly. I can tell but that's a very big value for you. How do you fit it all in? That's the question.
Yeah, I'm kind of like I said before, I never used to be, but I'm really strict with my boundaries. So first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, I spend 2 hours on myself. So exercise every morning, whether it's yoga or a beach walk, because if I don't do that, I'm literally sitting down on my computer. I'm running my business all day and I don't get up all day. I'm like sitting here. So moving my body in the morning for me is number one. Like it just really refreshes me, gets my endorphins going. Um, and has anyone here read The Miracle Morning? I love that book by Hal Elrod. That changed my life for me. So I follow The Miracle Morning. It's an hour every morning and then I do my hour walk or my hour yoga. And my team know that I'm not online until 9 a.m. Like they can't contact me before then. I'm not on. They can't text me about business. They can only Facebook message me. They can text me if it's something like social related, but I'm just really clear with my boundaries. And then I personally work on this all day, every day. So I have for the last year. When I left my job in November last year, I decided to treat this like a 9 to 5 because I really wanted to hit some certain goals in a certain amount of time. So I sit here and work on my business all day. And then again in the afternoon from about 6 p.m. onwards, that's my time with Matt. It's my time to read my book that I'm currently reading. It's my time to just chill out. And again, like every now and then I know that, obviously I have team who are doing this on the side while they're working and they can only do calls and things after hours. And of course, like I think I find myself every third night or so doing a game plan at nighttime or a 3-way chat. And that's cool. Like, and Matt and I have those boundaries where I say to him, like, this night I'm actually going to be working all night. So count me out for whatever you're doing. But then again, other nights I'm like, no, I can't do any calls after 6. I'm spending time with Matt. I'm spending time on myself. And in terms of the PD stuff, I really love Mitch and Mills. I really love their philosophy and everything that they preach it just makes sense. And to be honest, Mitch and Mills have been a major, major part of my business. I owe a lot to them because they've really helped me with my mindset. They've helped me with distinguishing and acknowledging what my values are and being, my self-worth and my confidence, because in the beginning I didn't have any of that. I didn't think I could do this. I didn't know, if I was going to be good enough to do it. So they really helped me through that process. So yeah, I love what they do, and they're so cool. Like they've got a podcast now, they've got YouTube videos. So I'm just plugging into all that. I'm not like doing PD every single day.
Yeah.
I'm reading my books, but my number one thing, guys, if you don't have Audible, it's an app. I know it's an app on Apple. I don't know about Android. I'm sure it's on Android. Yeah, so Audible is, I think it's like $13 a month, and you get one book a month with that $13. And so that's when I'm driving and when I'm doing my morning walk, that's when I'm listening to my Audible. So they usually go like between 3 and 6 hours. So like one book a week for me, that's enough. So that's where I sort of plug into the PD stuff. But other than that, I don't do another.
What are you reading or listening to now? What's your book of the week? At
the moment, I'm reading, this is actually an amazing book that I just started reading yesterday. It's called Pitch Anything. I'll get the author for you guys. It is such an amazing book about talking to people and getting people across the line, like getting them to say yes to your product or your service. So Pitch Anything I'll type it in the chat because it's a weird name, Oren Klaff. Oren Klaff. Amazing book. So he speaks a lot about framing people, seeding them, being really clear and having an intention behind your conversation, being really confident in your delivery, and then how to close. I'm just learning so much. He's got heaps of scripts in it. So that's what I'm reading or listening to at the moment.
Yeah, sweet. I was going to ask you, there's a couple of questions in here. One was, when someone asks you what you do, what do you say?
Depends who it is. It changes for everyone. Like one of them is I help people make an income through their social media. That's a very vague one, but if I sort of know that they're like not really a health nut, that's probably what I would use. For people who are really interested in like more having, like, I think they'd be a perfect customer more than a team member. I say I run an online holistic wellness program for women. And sometimes I'll say I teach people how to build their own health and wellness business online. So it varies between the three.
Yeah.
Depends who it is. It changes for everyone.
Yeah. You've really got to know who you're talking to, haven't you, before you can decide which way to take it.
I definitely suss them out before I answer that question.
So on the road to 100 Club, which should tick over in potentially next month or January, February, sometime before the wedding. Mel's also asked earlier, how do you go about teaching your team the importance of qualifying and why they need to do it and why they need to do it consistently? Like, what's your take on that?
Yeah. When I started really focusing on the importance of qualifying, that's when I really saw a massive increase in my clubs. So for me, like when I do, the game plan, like the initial chat with people when I get them started, I actually drop in that about qualifying. So I mentioned to them that the first 60 days of their business, we're going to just be head down, bum up, and we're just going to be focusing on getting them the first 2 promotions. That's the first thing I make them understand. And I don't go into specifics about points and structure. I just say to them, there's 60 days. The next 60 days are going to be huge for us. And once we hit that second promotion, it's smooth sailing from there. And then I ask them what they want to earn a month. After that, I sort of explain to them about SDVF. And according to what their income goal is, I explain to them straight off the bat, okay, well, that's 3 club, that's 12 club, that's 24 club. And then everyone's always like, what's that? So I sort of really vaguely, so I don't overwhelm them, because I know that people who start fresh off the bat, there's lots of information being thrown at them. I don't want to overwhelm them, but I say to them what a club is. I explain to them they're going to become a club. And then when they become a club, it's all about teaching as many people as we can for them to become a club. And then I explain 3 club, 12 club, 24 club, and what each club level is associated with in terms of income. So straight from the get-go, they understand that they just got to become a club. That's how my team understand it. And so the first 60 days, that's what they're aiming for. And I love it because they don't have these hang-ups on bonuses. They're not like, oh, I missed my $100 bonus if they've missed it. They're just all about, I've just got to qualify my business. I've just got to get to that point. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing I do is once I have team members hit SDVF, I put them in a separate message thread, like a special one called Qualifiers. And I just really hold their hand throughout the entire month about being really clear with report reading, knowing what they finished on last month, calculating the difference between what they were on last month and what they need to get this month to qualify, understanding how many orders that is, and that everyone just has it imprinted in their brain, like it's a monthly sequence. So like on the 10th of the month, we're looking at, okay, well, what do I need to achieve this month? On the 15th of the month, it's like, right, well, I'm not halfway there yet, so this is how many orders I need to get there. And then between day 20 and 30 of the month, it's all about who can I help, how many more orders do I need, what reports they need to run, how they can check what they're deficient in, and so on. So I personally created a series of videos, like little 5-minute videos for them to watch throughout the month. And everyone's just on it. Like every month, everyone understands, like on the 10th, we do this, on the 15th, we do this, on the 20th, we run this report, and so on. So I guess for the leaders on the call, write down a list of things that you need to do to learn how to qualify your business, like what reports you need to run, what you need to calculate, and then make little videos for every step. And then at that point in every month, send that video to your group thread. Or like, hey guys, it's day 10 today. Make sure you watch this 5-minute tutorial so you can understand what you need to do by today. So that's what I do. And it works really well.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And yeah, definitely framing it right from the get-go is certainly the way to do it. It's amazing. So March is going to roll around. You're leaving the country earlier than March though, aren't you? You're leaving soon.
Mid-February.
Okay, mid-February. Okay, so mid-February rolls around and the wedding is in March,
Yeah.
and then you guys are off for 12 months or whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
And you're taking your business on the road, so to speak. What's the goal for 2018?
I think 2018 is going to be really interesting. I think traveling with your business isn't all it's cracked up to be. Like, it looks glamorous and it looks amazing, but I'm more than certain that I'll come across roadblocks and things. And I'm just really excited to learn how to do that and how to overcome them, because obviously I'm going to be on this big holiday, but I'm going to be working at the same time. So just learning that balance, and yeah, being able to still lead a team, not being at home, I think is going to be not a challenge. It'll be interesting. I've already, like Matt and I have already discussed that at the end of every month, for the last 7 days of the month, there's no adventuring. There's just like, we need Wi-Fi and I need to be working and helping the team. And we're really cool with that. I love that we can do that. But, the rest of the month, it's all about adventuring and traveling, but also working a certain amount of hours every day. So I don't know what 2018 looks like. I'm excited for it though.
Yeah, I know, it sounds amazing. Just the travel and it'll be great to see. You'll be able to do it, and I believe you'll be able to. There's plenty of NMDs that I know that from the States who, like, there's one couple that they're yachties, and like for 3 or 4 months of the year they just go off the grid. And their team just keeps kicking along because it's the systems that you've put in place, and it's, the fact that you've got some leaders coming up underneath you and with you, and you've got those systems already to be able to help them kick along. So that's awesome. One last quick question was, just with your program, how you rolled that out through your team and had them roll that out just quickly to your customer base. So do you lead with the program? Do you lead with the product? Or is it, again, just depending on who you're talking to?
We lead with the program more than anything, because not for any other reason except that we just want to show people the added value that we're giving them. So it's really nice when people contact you about the program, and then they say, how much is this? And you say, oh, it's actually free when you purchase one of our partner products. And then people are always like, what do you mean? Like, what's the catch? Why am I getting this for free? Like, what's the scam? It's really funny when they realize, oh my gosh, I just have to buy this Juice Plus product to get the program. And so where we lead with the program, every now and then I'll do a product post because people want to know what it is, obviously, and it has so many benefits. So I do definitely post about the product. And in terms of the business side of things, we just lead with our community that we've created. So my team is called Babes in Business, and we have a very specific avatar. So obviously Babes in Business is like people, between the ages of 20 and 35-ish. So we do have quite a young team. So people our age are sort of like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? I want to be a part of it. Sort of like creating that FOMO all the time. And that's how we lead with the business side of things. So that it's a little bit different, but it works. I love it. I love it that it's different. It's not doing what everyone else is doing. It's thinking outside the box, I think. And I think for you guys, like, if you want to change it up and add a little like spice to the way you do things, I just reckon think outside the box. Like, what else can you do? What extra value can you add? But most importantly, like, if you were you but you weren't in your business, what would you want to see? What would you want to read when you read something? What is it that you want more of in life? And I feel like that's what you should post, because you're going to be attracting people exactly like you. So just post what you would want to read and see. That's what I do every day. I post with intention.
Yeah, perfect. It's like doing a bit of a scroll audit. I even do that on myself. Yes, me, Miss No Social Media. I will scroll, and if I stop to look at something, I'm jotting it down, because it's just kind of, because I am also attracting my avatar is more of me.
Yeah.
So it's the same sort of thing. So, but I actually stop and scroll and audit, just sit down and
Yeah.
take information. Well, apparently you are a legend. We knew that. Thank yous. But look, I really want to thank you so much for taking time out. I know that this next couple of months, particularly leading up to 100 Club, your sideline sisters and brothers over here are all cheering you on. We know you can do it. It's just been amazing to watch your journey. And thank you for what you contribute to Juice Plus Australia, just, because you do. There's people, we're all watching, we're all scrolling and checking up on you as well. So, it's great. And you've just been such an amazing role model for women coming into this business. So I just want to thank you for that. Everyone's saying thank you. Lots of hitting.
Thanks, guys.
So thanks again. And
thanks for having me on.
And I hope you all did notice that Chani does talk about reports, and she does have her team check their reports too. So I'm not the only loony.
Oh my gosh, you guys have the report queen. Like, seriously, I always come to Fee when I need questions about my reports. You guys are so lucky. Definitely. You need to know your numbers to do this business. You can't not know your numbers. You're doing it blind otherwise. That's what I feel anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you've got those little tutorials and telling them what reports to check. I think that's gold. That's absolutely brilliant. There's been so much, but thank you so much for giving up your time. Tell Matt thank you as well, and hopefully we'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks for having me, guys. Lots of love.
Thank you.